It's time to seize the day, Tampa Bay. Let's go.
He was in command and in control in the air.
Winston, sideline caught.
And on the ground.
Jameis Winston with a running touchdown for the Bucs.
The making of a new master and commander as the crew brought on the shock and awe. Now, it's Siege the Day again. Siege the Browns.
From Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Tonight, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play host to the Cleveland Browns. And good to have you with us. Preseason game number 3 with Rondé Barber. I'm Chris Myers, and the Bucs coming off what may be one of their best preseason performances in years. Tonight, people still buzzing about Jameis Winston, the #1 pick, who's only played 3.5 quarters of professional football. How do you rate his progress?
You know, that first week we got the great card back, and it was about a C. It was passing, but it wasn't that great. Last week, though, against Cincinnati, he moved his play up significantly. One thing we know about Jameis Winston, though, he has a full grasp of this offense. You see him checking plays. He's comfortable at the line of scrimmage, and I'm telling you, this arm is something special. I look forward to seeing it more tonight.
And he will play with the starters into the third quarter. That's the plan. Behind Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans, out tonight, but will be ready for the regular season. A lot of competition at wide receiver.
You know what? The big thing about the preseason is finding depth at key positions. Wide receiver is a big one here. I think from last week's performance, Russell Shepard has given himself that 4th receiver spot. However, people in the building cannot stop talking about Rennell Hall out of UCF. Him, Adam Humphries out of Clemson, some other young guys, Robert Perron, who was a draft pick last year, competing for that last spot, and they'll be great for depth on this football team.
And Lovie Smith couldn't stop talking about the takeaways from his defense, not turnovers, right? They have 3 in each of the first 2 games.
We learned something new today. It's not turnovers anymore. It's takeaways. We're not waiting for the offense to give the ball to us. They're going to take it away, and they did that spectacularly last week. 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, a fumble to match the 3 that they had against Minnesota. If this team can continue on this roll, this is going to be a very special unit, I think.
Time for a check on the GMC keys to the game. GMC, we are professional grade.
First, you have to protect the football. You know, Cleveland's defense wasn't great last year, but one thing that they did really well was take the ball away. They were #1 in completion percentage for quarterbacks, 2nd in interceptions, and that secondary is in full force today. It'll be a test for them. Pound the rock. Doug Martin, I think, has proven that he is back on form to that rookie season. Love the way that his movement is creating opportunities in the run game. Mike James will also get a look there. And lastly, we have to pound McCown. You know what? He was surplus to requirements before we drafted a quarterback this year. He doesn't deal with pressure well. George Johnson, a sack and a half last week. And this defensive front can get after him. Be a great showing for these Buccaneers defense this afternoon.
Josh McCown, who was the Bucs quarterback last year. Preseason game number 3. The curtain goes up on the dress rehearsal for the regular season. The kickoff straight ahead. Fans ready to see some football. Temperature 78 degrees. Humidity 97%. And always a chance of rain in Florida. Lovie Smith in his 3rd preseason game, coming off a home victory against Cincinnati after a loss at Minnesota to start the season. And anxious, his quarterback, Jameis Winston, get a little more time. The cannons are firing, which means we're ready to go. The Browns and Mike Patton in his 2nd year. They won the toss and deferred, so they will kick off. It'll be Travis Coons kicking and hailing play, the rookie, back for the Bucs. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Dan Lucas down on the field, and nice to have you with us. There is Clay, the rookie who set a record in college football, or at least was the lead man with 4 return touchdowns, but has to show a little more in the punt and kickoff return, according to his coach. Preseason game 3. Browns and Bucs underway. And Clay will let it go by. 20-yard line. The offense will take over. Jameis Winston in his 2nd home game. Couple of rushing touchdowns, but he's yet to complete a touchdown pass in the National Football League. And going up against one of the better secondaries in the NFL. In fact, for Cleveland, they'll finally have all of their starters, at least the guys they think will start in the secondary, together for this game. Tuesday was a day off for the Bucs after the Monday night game, but Winston was in there at 6 a.m. looking at film all day, looking at video, talking about becoming a better pro. Doug Martin in the backfield. Martin the carry. Tackled right there.
Handoff to number 22, Doug Martin.
And let's take a look at the Suncoast Hyundai dealers starting lineups. Test drive the all-new 2015 Hyundai Sonata at the summer clearance sales event at your Suncoast Hyundai dealer.
Lewis Murphy gets a start today with Mike Evans out of the game. And you see both rookies, Donovan Smith and Ali Marpet, are also in this unit. I think week 3 of the preseason, the penultimate game, the one that coaches look at most, you got to see what you got. That's why those 2 rookies are in here now.
Winston to throw. And incomplete. Trying to get it to his tight end, Luke Stocker.
Winston's pass.
It'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Intended for number 8.
Hyundai,
Stocker.
Suncoast Hyundai dealer starting lineup on the defensive side. Danny Shelton, the number 1 pick for the Cleveland Browns. And in that secondary, Joe Hayden, Tramon Williams, Gibson, and Dante Whitner.
This is definitely the strength of this unit. Tramon Williams, who comes over from Green Bay, is a great addition to this secondary. They second in the league last year in interceptions. With that guy on the field, they'll only be better. Good test for Jameis tonight.
Winston standing at his own 16 on 3rd down. Need to get to the 30. Plenty of time in the pocket. And he's going to get sacked. Couldn't find anybody open. Desmond Bryant and Paul Kruger collapsed on the 21-year-old rookie.
We just finished talking about this secondary, and as we're up here watching this, there was absolutely nowhere for Jameis to get rid of that football. He could have forced a throw in there, but takes the sack and backs the Bucs up on their first possession.
Travis Benjamin back to receive the punt. Carl Schmitz standing at his own end zone, and a battle for punter on this team and for field goal kicker as well. Benjamin dashing inside the 40 of the Bucs. Travis Benjamin is in for a touchdown. A 53-yard return, and there are no flags.
You know, Chris, special teams have been a problem for Tampa since Lovie Smith got here. And again, punt return duties are not this difficult. Stay in your lane, make the ball go laterally. Nobody there to make this ball bounce. It's a pretty easy jump to the end zone for an opening score for Cleveland.
Lovie Smith wondering what the heck happened here.
Last week it was penalties. Today it's, I would say, missed tackles, but there was nobody to even tackle. That was an uncontested score. And Lovie Smith's shaking his head. That's not the way you start a football game.
The extra point, Corey Spear to try. Of 111 tries, only 6 have been missed from this distance, and none have been blocked and returned for a 2-point conversion, which you can do this year as that sails through and gives the Browns a quick 7-0 lead. Cleveland will be kicking off to Tampa Bay in just a moment. The Browns, who kicked off a moment ago on a punt return with a 7-0 lead, are getting ready to kick off again. And the Verizon Files scoring drive, get out of the pass, get Files. 53 yards by Travis Benjamin. On the punt return, it was in a hurry, and quickly Corey Spear is ready to kick off, but a change instead of Clay to return. Rennell Hall, free agent from the University of Central Florida, and he's bringing that out of the end zone. Hall, whose nickname is Speedy, showed you a little bit why as he got up to the 25-yard line. Jameis Winston sacked in that last series. That was the 4th time he's been sacked in this preseason. 17 out of 33, 221 yards. He suffered an interception, the only turnover that this team has suffered. But a quick 3 and out is what set up the punt that allowed Cleveland to score quickly. Doug Martin remains the back. On first down, Jameis Winston wide open at the 40 and up to the 45 is Louis Murphy on Tampa Bay first down. 22-yard gain.
Well, you want this to be a dress rehearsal type game since it's the third one. The last time you'll see them, this full unit. You don't start out well. You go play action on the next play, run a little seam route by Vincent Jackson, Louis Murphy underneath. And I tell you, Jameis put a great ball in there, but it started with the protection up front. He had great time, delivered a strike.
Vincent Jackson on the bottom of your screen, throwing again. Protection, but he has to get rid of it in a hurry. The pocket collapsed. And Cleveland, this 3-4 defense, this is the first time that Jameis Winston is seeing a 3-4 defense, and that's important because he'll see one against Tennessee when the regular season opens here on September 13th.
You're exactly right. This is a great test run for Jameis Winston in this offense. He hasn't seen any 3-4 defenses. Minnesota was a 4-3, as was Cincinnati last week. And when Tennessee comes to town, Dick LeBeau, who we all know is his first time in Pittsburgh, is one of the masters running this 3-4 defense, and he's got a good opportunity to see it today against Cleveland. It'll definitely help his preparation.
Craig Rolstad is our referee. False start charged against the rookie Ali Marpet, the starting right guard. And a slew of penalties is what upset Lovie Smith. That was the one area, well, there were a few, but the one area that he was upset about in the Monday night win over Cincinnati here.
You know, other than turnovers, one of the key determinants is penalties. And Lovie's not a sloppy coach. He doesn't like his teams being sloppy in terms of penalties either.
Winston is going to go down again. Barely got the snap, but again, Desmond Bryant. Free agent from Harvard, a former Raider, playing strong up front.
We're trying to answer some questions here along the front line, and one of the guys we're watching closely is rookie Ali Marpet. You'll see him right here, right of your screen, just get clubbed by the defensive tackle. Jameis had absolutely no chance on that play.
Yeah, Marpet, one of the 2 second-round choices. Donovan Smith, the starting left tackle, at the moment the other in the draft to protect the first pick. Winston on 3rd and 22. Open! Safarian Jenkins. Short of the first down. Dante Whitner was right there with him around midfield.
Third and 20 or whatever it was. Not many plays you're going to call to get this, but the execution of the route was nice. Jameis finding a window in a zone, which people watching him out of college said he does better than anybody. And if that connection can get going to Austin Safarian Jenkins, watch out for this offense.
And watch out on the punt return. Jake Shum is in to punt in a punting battle with Carl Schmitz, who booted the last one, and Michael Kanan, last year's punter. As this travels into the end zone, there'll be no return. Cleveland will take over on offense. We'll get a look at Josh McCown as the Browns have the football at a 7-0 lead here in Tampa Bay. Closed captioning brought to you by Jenkins Nissan in Lakeland. Visit JenkinsNissan.com, the largest volume Nissan dealer in the U.S., where the deals are real. A moment ago, Levante David went over and gave a hug to Josh McCown, who was the starter for 11 games last year for Tampa Bay, second most in his 11-season career, and now he's the starter in Cleveland, not officially named, but Johnny Manziel, who is not playing in this game. Thad Lewis and Pat Devlin signed on the roster, the quarterbacks for Cleveland. McCown on first down. Across the middle and wide open. Did he hold on to the football? Dwayne Bowe. Incomplete. Now, it rained about an hour before kickoff, Rhonda. You were down on the field, and the field conditions, as we look at the starters here, drained well.
Drained really well. He rained for a long time, and it was dumping, as it has been in Tampa here for the past month and a half. Looked like it may be a delay of this game, but that field drained excellently. No problems out there, I don't think.
Suncoast Hyundai dealers providing the starting lineup, and Duke Johnson, rookie from Miami, in the backfield. His first preseason action, and gets the football. And a solid run up just short of the 25-yard line. Suncoast Hyundai dealers the starting lineups for the Bucs on defense, and test drive the all-new 2015 Sonata at the summer clearance sales event at your Suncoast Hyundai dealer.
You notice there that Henry Melton is in at a defensive end. He brought him in to be a defensive tackle, but I think they're thinking on first and second down, Henry Melton can be a great asset on the edge. He's inside now with a 3 technique on predictable passing situations. They're going to pin their ears back and try to get after Josh McCown here.
Here comes a flag on 3rd and 6. McCown has room to run and will get up across the 30 for a first down pending the flag. Sterling Moore was in as the nickelback for the Buccaneers. Again, because of the rain earlier, we've had some audio problems from down on the field, including that of the referee, but we'll relay the call was on George Johnson for the offside. They'll decline that, take the McCown run, and the Browns get the first down up to the 33. McCown very gracious about his time here in Tampa. It didn't go well, a 2-win season. But of course, offensive coordinator issues, problems had a lot to do with that. He never used it as an excuse, just a reality. But he's the man in Cleveland. Crowell gets the carry straight ahead. Big hole up to the 43-yard line near another Cleveland first down. Crowell over 600 yards last season, including 8 touchdowns. A rookie free agent from Alabama State. And he does move the chains.
We talk about winning the battle up front. Offense and defense so far. Bucs are getting moved. Big gaping hole there. Not sure what defense they were in, but somebody had a missed assignment on that run.
Crowell remains the back for McCown. First offensive series for Cleveland. If you tuned in late, it was a punt return for a touchdown to put the Browns up 7-0. Crowell has it. Slips through a narrower hole, but gets up to the 49-yard line before Danny Lanzana makes the stop. And Lanzana with Bruce Carter moving outside, looking for a position somewhere in that linebacking group since Quan Alexander's your starter in the middle.
Well, you see them running the football here, dedicated to running the football. I tell you what about Cleveland, Isaiah Crowell, Terrence West, and now that Duke Johnson is playing, they have a formidable group of runners in that backfield. Terrence West has been tearing up the preseason. Like you said, this is our first look at Duke Johnson. This defense better step up here and get a chance to keep this under control.
Josh McCown underneath and open to his running back. Crowell, he slips a tackle, gets down to the 42 of Tampa Bay, and another Cleveland first down.
And that's what I'm talking about. Just a simple check down out of the backfield to Crowell. When you have strong runners like Crowell is, you have to be sound tacklers. And there's an opportunity here for Levante David, who we know is a sound tackler on this team, to make that play for a 2 or 3 yard gain, slips tackle, picks up a first down.
Yeah, Levante David, a career high 146 tackles, 3rd in the NFL last year, and he missed a couple of games because of a hamstring. Terrence West checks in at running back on first down. The pass complete to Taylor Gabriel and knocked down around the 40-yard line. Jonathan Banks from his corner spot. It's interesting in that secondary, DJ Swearinger getting the start. Don't want to gloss over that. Known as a big hitter, but he's fit in well with Lovey's defense, Lovey Smith's defense.
Yeah, we see Jonathan Banks there, but DJ Swearinger getting the start today with Major Wright not here. Chris Conte, who hasn't practiced much during the preseason, we'll get a look out later. I'm interested to see how he fits into this defense, but that was a good play there by DJ. Didn't get a replay of it, but he broke up that play quickly.
2nd down 7, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The Bucs clog the middle and make the run just a little bit more difficult. Let's go back to number 36, Swearinger, the former Houston Texan. He scored high on the Wonderlic test coming out of college out of South Carolina, 28. You know, that's in the top 15 of a 70-plus draft class.
I tell you what, perception sometimes is not reality. You look at this kid and all you see is him blowing people up, making great hits like we saw last week. He destroyed the knee of that Dolphins tight end a couple years ago, but Lovey said this guy is an above-the-neck player. Smart, and that's why he's in here getting the first opportunity at that 3rd safety.
3rd down at 4. Pressure coming. Ball is tipped, but the catch is made. Reaching back to grab it is Benjamin, who had the punt return for the touchdown.
We talked about how Josh McCown doesn't deal well with pressure. He makes a heck of a throw here, and this is an outstanding catch. Ball was behind him. It was in tight coverage by Jonathan Banks.
TJ Fatinikin came in applying pressure, but McCown was able to complete the pass for the first down. Crowell checks back in after a gain of 9. Impressive drive for this Browns offense, trying to add to the lead at 7-0. Crowell. Bucs make sure there's no room for him to run. The combination of Crowell, Terrence West, and the rookie Duke Johnson. Sean Drone also part of that backfield for the Cleveland Browns. When they start on opening day, Rondé, Josh McCown will be the 23rd different starting quarterback since 1999 for this Cleveland franchise.
Yeah, it's amazing they can't get right at that position. You know, Josh is essentially a stopgate before Johnny Manziel takes over at some point, I would presume. You know, if he eliminates his mistakes, he can be an effective quarterback.
McCown has it, and wide open is his tight end Jim Dre, is knocked down in a hurry. Levante David over there.
We know from experience, us Bucs fans last year, you know, the mistakes that he made along the way. I mean, he came in, that reputation of protecting the football the year he had in Chicago, and then he was just poor for us. Summarily let him go, gets signed by Cleveland for this mentorship role, and to be honest with you, he's won over everybody on that sideline in the locker room, and start this season, he's going to be the starting quarterback, just as he was last year here in Tampa.
12th play of the drive, 3rd down and 6. The Bucs looking for a stop here on defense. McCown to throw, he's on the move, and in the pocket, he gets away. Josh McCown with a first down to the 15. Quan Alexander, the starting rookie middle linebacker, 4th round draft choice from LSU, made the tackle eventually, and a lot of tap dancing by the Cleveland quarterback.
Well, this will frustrate the heck out of Lovie Smith. As you see, there's mass confusion there in the secondary. Guys aren't lined up, and then we know Josh McCown has this ability. Him and his brother Luke, scrambling quarterbacks, not necessarily accurate when they're on the move, but if they get out of the pocket, they can make something happen, and they weren't able to rally on defense there and stop it.
Isaiah Crowell drops deep in the backfield. Luke McCown was one of those starting quarterbacks in the string we mentioned of 23. Over the past 6 years as Crowell carries. And Mike Pettin talked about the 4th when people were questioning preseason games, the value. He said the 4th preseason game last year is what won him over to spot Crowell and land him a job in the NFL. So he sees the value in it, and so does Crowell.
Yeah, they got diversity in that backfield. Similarly to what Tampa's looking for in their backfield with Doug Martin, Charles Sims, and Mike James. When we get an opportunity to see those similar type runners in all regards.
Terrence West checks in, 2 receivers, bottom of your screen. West the running back. On 2nd down 8, McCown sets some throws and again completes. And again it's Benjamin. And that's going to be good enough for a 1st and goal for Cleveland. They are chewing up the clock and marching toward the end zone.
Yeah, they're chewing up the clock, and they're picking on Jonathan Banks over here at right corner. Both corners were over. You see Alteron Werner playing man-to-man in the slot, so Josh McCown drops back knowing that number 27 is over there in one-on-one coverage. Little combination route they got, and Travis Benjamin was able to get another first down for Cleveland.
3 third down conversions on this drive. Over 8.5 minutes, 15th play of the drive. 1st and goal. Terrence West trying to get outside. Chased and thrown out of bounds by Jonathan Banks.
Good play there, just picking on him about pass defense, but see this replay coming right in your face. Jonathan Banks there on the end of the line of scrimmage, and this looks like it has the chance to bounce outside, but good corners, and this defense have to be willing to tackle. Jonathan Banks does a great job there.
Call it a gain of 1 on 2nd down and goal. A little bit of hesitation as to where the receivers were lining up. McCown rolling. Throwing toward the end zone. And incomplete. Brian Hartline was over there. The former Miami Dolphin and Ohio State Buckeye.
Take a look at this. I think if Mike Pettin wants to review that, this is going to be a touchdown.
Now the official said incomplete right there, but you can challenge that. Now if it was called a touchdown, it would be reviewed automatically, but we are getting the challenge from Mike Pettin, and Hartline, one of the best at keeping those toes in on the sideline. So ruled incomplete on the field. Challenge coming from the Cleveland Browns. And we'll take a closer look and check on the results. Browns leading 7-0 and have a chance to get more here in Tampa Bay. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, and Cleveland challenging the end zone throw that was ruled an incompletion. Hartline looked like he kept his feet in, and as he went to the ground, held onto the football. So the officials taking a closer look.
Yeah, referee Craig Wolfstead.
So, and again, we apologize, his microphone not working clearly because of the earlier rain affecting some of the equipment here, but you can tell by the reaction it's a touchdown and a good challenge by Mike Pettin and encouraged by his receiver. Josh McCown with his second touchdown pass of the preseason to go with a couple of interceptions, and a real knockout drive by this Cleveland offense. Marching 80 yards in over 9 minutes. Travis Coons on to try the extra point. And again, with the new adjustment this year, it's a 33-yard extra point attempt to make it 14-0. And it's through.
Extra point, Coons. 1:27 left in the first quarter.
Brian Hartline on the receiving end of the McCown pass for a touchdown. The Browns with a 14-0 first quarter lead here in Tampa Bay. $14-0 Browns. Checking the Verizon Fios scoring drive. Get out of the pass, get Fios, and they marched 80 yards, 9:37, 16 plays, and the touchdown pass to Hartline. And Travis Coons ready to kick off. Back is Kalen Clay, the 6th-round pick from Utah. So we've switched return men. That tells you something about where the Buccaneers are on that situation. Bobby Rainey is the lead return man at the moment on this team, the veteran running back, and a one-time Cleveland Brown. But it'll be Clay if he brings it out, and he does. From inside the 5, Kalen Clay finds some room and held up short of the 25-yard line. Excellent special teams work by Cleveland. Well, I'm sure with Rondé Barber, Chris Myers here, Buccaneer fans are saying, what the heck's going on here? This is a different team that we saw Monday night here.
Yeah, you got to reassess the situation here. What do we have? We have a team that started fast last week, got off to a big lead against Cincinnati, and today it's like, who are these guys again? You know, adversity hits you, though. And Dirk Cutter probably wanted to come into this game, run a balanced attack, get Doug Martin some touches, get some quick completions for Jameis, but so far he's been under pressure from the get-go. He's got to get something going right now.
Dirk Cutter, the first-year offensive coordinator here after success in Atlanta with Matt Ryan and the Falcons, and in Jacksonville. Doug Martin goes nowhere here. Winston, so far 2 out of 4. He's been sacked twice. And the offense has yet to really get going. The other side of this is they're facing a different team. We're not judging Cincinnati or Cleveland, but certainly this Browns team has come in, you can tell from the opening kickoff, with a different frame of mind than the Cincinnati team last Monday night.
And this is an aggressive defense, a very good defense. Watch this kid all night there, Danny Shelton, a monster in the middle. They can't stop raving about this guy. And he's doing his job against the run so far tonight.
On second down, Doug Martin. Nowhere to go. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Danny Shelton, the rookie, the 1st-round pick from Washington, number 71 in the middle for Cleveland. He was a college teammate of Austin Seferian-Jenkins, the 2nd-year tight end of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were teammates with Washington as the first quarter is winding down. Let's see if Winston will snap it before on 3rd and 11 or let it go. It's been all Cleveland from the opening kick. Punt return and a touchdown pass by McCown. Pressure again. Floats one and it's intercepted. It's a takeaway for the Browns. Charles Gaines inside the 15 of Tampa Bay as the first quarter runs out. The second interception of the preseason for Winston. On the famous Tate scoreboard, the Browns lead the Bucs 14-0. Famous Tate serving Tampa Bay with great deals on appliances and bedding since 1954. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, welcoming you to preseason game number 3 for the Buccaneers. Lovie Smith, who in 1995 coached at Ohio State, was on the staff, and then of course went into the pro games, and once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye, and watching the team from Ohio beat up on his team.
There's some unique looks coming from that defense, and that was just a very poor decision by Jameis trying to force that ball. Ill-advised turnover.
Crowell knocked down right away. The Buck defense taking the stand. Quan Alexander leading the way.
This defense needs a stop right now. You look at the first quarter stats. Total yards clearly in favor of Cleveland here. Got absolutely nothing going on for Tampa Bay on the offensive side of the ball. We're sitting here, second down inside the 15-yard line. This Buck defense needs a stop. They need to stop the bleeding.
And those stats brought to you by your local Southern Ford dealers. No rushing yards for the Bucs. Duke Johnson in the backfield for Cleveland. McCown already a touchdown pass. Completes underneath. Knocked down right away. It'll bring up 3rd down. And it was Duke Johnson on the catch, and Lavonte David making the stop. David, one of 12 Bucs from the state of Florida, the most of any state filling up this roster.
You got 3rd and 11 here, Chris. Good defenses relish the opportunity to stop offenses on sudden change situations. An interception, a turnover is a sudden change situation. The Bucs got a 3rd and long here. See if they can get off the field and force a field goal attempt.
Need to get to the 3-yard line for a first down. Time for McCown, and now he's got to move around a little. Throws underneath, knocked away, and it's incomplete. Mike Jenkins, who had come in for Jonathan Banks on the corner. And Jenkins needing to show a little bit more. Come in for Verner, I'm sorry. Banks on the other side, making the play.
Play cover 2 down here in the red zone. Get a pass rush by Gerald McCoy. Make Luke McCown make a bad decision to the flat, and Mike Jenkins cleans it up with a vicious hit out there.
Jenkins, the former South Florida star from Bradenton, Florida, former Cowboy and Raider. And now Spear on to try a field goal.
Lovie Smith will be happy with that stand. Nothing he can do on defense about that turnover. Get the ball back in the red zone and your defense stands up. There's definite positive coming out of that series right there for the Bucs.
Delay a game against the Browns. That'll back up the field goal and make it a 36-yard try. And for Cleveland, Andy Lee has the punting job taken care of, but Travis Coons and Kerry Spear, I may have called him Corey earlier, I apologize, but Kerry Spear with a chance from 36. The kick is up and through, and Cleveland with a 17-0 advantage. 13.5 minutes remaining in the first half here in Tampa Bay. And the Browns will be kicking off with a 17-point lead. Follow Erica or any other tropical system during hurricane season with the free News Channel 8 and Storm Team 8 mobile apps. Search WFLA in your app store. Storm Team 8 is on your side. Check on the Verizon Fios scoring drive. Get out of the pass and get Fios. It ends up on the turnover, interception, and a field goal.
You see Jimmy Lee Starling's crew. See if we can blow up their Instagram and Twitter. I'll give them a mention on the broadcast here.
Rennell Hall will down it in the end zone. Jimmy Lee Starling Jr. is our director.
I failed to mention that, but yes.
We want people around the country to know his family and friends. And number one right there.
Number one, I think that's him right there.
Waiting for this Bucs offense to get into gear so his dad can punch up some pretty pictures.
I'm waiting for his phone to look at his phone right now.
Next game with the Bucs against the Dolphins. You'll see it here on News Channel 8 Thursday Live, September 3rd at 7 o'clock. And be sure to watch the Bucs bonus pregame show leading up to game time with Dan Lucas. Charles Sims in at running back, third-round draft pick last year. Missed the first 8 games with an ankle injury from the preseason. Running number 2 behind Doug Martin, who had 3 carries for no rushing yards tonight. From the 20, Sims with some room, dancing around, and best run of the night for the Bucs as he gets up near the 30.
Hey, Charles Sims. He came in last year, and there were huge expectations for him. I think a lot of people in the building, when he got drafted, were expecting him to replace Doug Martin. Saw on that run a lot of his ability. That short space quickness, the ability to stick his foot in the ground and make people miss. That was an outstanding run by Charles Sims.
An 8-yard gain on first down. The pitch again to Sims. Cuts back and stopped just short of the first down.
Given a report card on this offense so far, and quarterbacks really had no chance. Front 4 or 5 of this Cleveland Browns defense is just getting after them. Running back grades inconclusive, but the offensive line has got to be a fail in our mind right now. See our rookie Ali Marpet there just get blown past for the sack. It's hard to get judgments on guys in the preseason when you can't stay on the field. This offensive line needs to step up its game against this unit. We're going to get some looks at this offense.
Doug Martin back in and will lose yardage and fail on 3rd and short. Cleveland dominating the line of scrimmage.
Cleveland was not very good against the run last year. In fact, I think they were somewhere around bottom, like 32nd. But they went out in the offseason, drafted Danny Shelton, got Randy Starks from Miami, made some improvements to go along with what I think is one of the best secondaries in the league. And right now, Mike Pettin and Jim O'Neill, the defensive coordinator, are sitting on the sideline, jollying it up as they get after the Bucs here.
Travis Benjamin, who is a former University of Miami product, with a punt return for a touchdown. Carl Schmitz taking turns punting here so far tonight with Jake Shum, and make sure he kicks it away from Benjamin. But the Bucs offense stalling once again, and Cleveland will take over on offense. They have the lead, 17-0, and they have the football. Those two carry the load in the regular season, but so far tonight, only Sims has been able to get things going. Meanwhile, on defense, Keith Tandy in at safety with Chris Conte, the former Bear, who's seeing his first action of the preseason.
I'm excited to see Chris Conte. I watched his practice film the other day, and he's got the best movement I have ever seen at safety. See how he translates that onto the football field tonight.
McCown to throw, and it's low and incomplete. Also, Bruce Carter coming into the middle with Danny Lanzana at the linebacker spot.
You know, Danny Lanzana and Bruce Carter split time last week trying to figure out who's going to be that starting Sam linebacker. But this kid, Chris Conte, they brought him in from Chicago. He really does have great movement. He has a head for the game, but he has been injured and on top of injured, and some of those injuries have been concussions. But he hasn't done anything in the preseason yet. He only practiced twice so far this year. This is his first game action for the Buccaneers.
Been bothered by a hamstring. This will bring up 3rd down after Terrence West carries, a native of Fort Lauderdale. Clinton McDonald making the tackle on that defensive line for the Bucs.
See, 3rd and 8. Clinton McDonald, Gerald McCoy. I love these situations. You get your pass rushers in the football game. They get out in wide threes. They got all linebackers on the line of scrimmage trying to show an all-out look. I guarantee you they're going to pop out and play zone defense and see if they can make them get McCown to give them a mistake.
Extra pressure on McCown, and he barely gets the ball off, incomplete. Applying the heat was Henry Melton, who started at defensive end but plays inside, or has in more of his career.
I feel like I know this defense. Get him on predictable third down defenses, and Henry Melton, who was a Pro Bowler in 2012, I think is a great, maybe the biggest addition to this defensive line, even though you got Tony McDaniel in there too. Because of his versatility, expect a lot of things from that kid this season. Not that he's a kid, he's as old as anybody. but great pressure there from the Bucs.
Kalen Clay, no fair catch. He's on the move. Clay inside the 45 before he's shoved back of Cleveland. A 37-yard punt and a 10-yard return for Clay, the rookie from Utah. The Bucs on offense in a moment. Join your Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the launch of Red, an all-new Buccaneers women's movement on Thursday, September 10th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Raymond James Stadium. Get an in-depth season preview from Jason Light, GM. You can meet Buck legends Mike Allstott, Martine Gramatica, and a whole lot more. Registration starting just $45, includes a ticket to the Bucs home opener against the Titans. You can register today at Buccaneers.com/red. First time the Bucs are over midfield in this game. From the 45 of Cleveland, Winston. Open. Vincent Jackson down inside the 20 of Cleveland.
There you go, Chris. I'm tired of talking bad about this team. Offensive line hadn't been good, but a play-action pass here. Jameis Winston gets plenty of time, just like he did on his play-action pass earlier in the game. Finds Vincent Jackson across the middle, unobstructed view, and a big first down.
And without a huddle, and 3 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons for the veteran Vincent Jackson, it's something Winston and the Bucs offense they want to do more of as Doug Martin gets through the hole. Doug Martin is going to have a touchdown Bucs.
How about that answer on offense?
19-yard touchdown run for Doug Martin.
Big play action pass. Doug Martin showing the quickness that he's shown all preseason, running through tackles. Dante Whitner said, I'm going to make this tackle, and Doug said, get out of my face. 19-yard touchdown for the Bucs. Had a way to get this thing going again.
Patrick Murray's going to try the extra point, and that without a huddle, there were some substitution delays, it looked like, from the Cleveland defense that may have affected that, but terrific play calling there after the big catch by Vincent Jackson. Murray, 2 of 4 in field goals. He did miss an extra point, but this time he delivers. Connor Barth, will see him, the former Bucs, signed this week to challenge. It is Murray's job. Connor Barth has to take it away from him.
Give a lot of credit here to Doug Martin, but watch these two guys right here in the middle. You see Ali Marpet on the pull, knocking that defensive end out of the way, and the rest leaves it up to Doug Martin. Nice touchdown for Tampa there. They needed to respond there. This game was decidedly in the Browns' favor, but we got a nice scoring drive to match it.
A Verizon Fios scoring drive, and what did Lovie Smith, unlike the offense last year, he wanted explosive plays. That was a quick striking offense when they needed it most.
Yeah, I'd call this drive perfectly balanced too. 1 pass, 1 run, touchdown.
And from your star players, Vincent Jackson, Doug Martin, Jameis Winston.
I'll tell you one thing. If you want to get your offense going, and if you're Jameis Winston, this is a perfect example to find the guy that you know is going to deliver for you, and that's Vincent Jackson. The guy is a professional, averages way more yards per catch than I would think for a guy that is not a Blazer. But when they need big-time plays, he's done it his entire career, and Jameis found him there for a big game to set up that scoring drive.
Patrick Murray kicking off, and from the end zone with the return, it's Jennings. Darius Jennings stopped short of the 15-yard line. So special teams for the Bucs. Anytime you keep the opposing team from starting inside their own 20, that's an advantage.
We used to call that gas money.
What is that? Is there something else going on there?
You get them stopped inside the 20, and all the guys were around when I played. If you made that tackle, everybody on the unit chip in a couple of bucks so you could get home.
Taking the lunch money from the opposing team. McCown, who last time was pressured and couldn't deliver on third down, 7 of 11 in the game so far, has a touchdown pass. Crowell's the back. He gets the football, and a gain of a couple. Clinton McDonald again helping to clog the middle. Solid on the run up front.
What an addition he was last year. Started at nose tackle next to Gerald McCoy, but he can also play that 3 technique if Gerald needs a break. I'm really impressed with what Jason Light and his staff did in the offseason, bringing in Tony McDaniel to make this a strength for this team. So not only does Gerald do it, you got 3 or 4 other bodies that can go in there and give you the same production.
After a gain of 3, McCown backpedaling to Crowell. And he's going to be knocked down across the 21-yard line. Coming up to make the tackle is George Johnson, who has been the top pass rusher in the first 2 games for the Bucs with a sack and a half. The former Buck who is back with the Bucs after being in Tampa Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit.
George Johnson is over here on the field. Watch this hustle play. I don't know if this was a screen or what it was, but usually in screens, the defensive linemen are the ones that come and make that play or make the tackle. And George Johnson from his right defensive end position runs all the way across the field and gets them to a third down situation. Great play by George.
Need to get to the 25 for a first down on 3rd and 4. McCown knocked away. It's 4th down. Lavonte David was on the spot.
There you go. You need your playmakers to step up and make plays.
He was trying to get to Hartline, who is sure-handed, but David stepped in front of him.
See the linebackers in the line of scrimmage, but they're just dropping into cover 2. You're underneath the fence, and this defense has to be spot on. You need a linebacker that can move in space, one that can tackle, and one that is just a baller, and this is this guy, Lavonte David, showing why they paid him all that money in the offseason.
The veteran, Andy Lee, former 49er, punting to Adam Humphries, 3rd different returner the Bucs have used already tonight. The rookie from Clemson chases it out of bounds, and the Bucs will take over on offense. There's been a little shift here at Raymond James Stadium. Under 8 minutes to play, they trail by 10, but the Bucs have the football and will take over on offense. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Dan Lucas down on the field. Dan?
Well, Chris, unfortunately, another one of those young Bucs receivers injured tonight. Kalen Clay, ribs. He is listed as doubtful for its return to the game, Chris.
All right, thank you. And already Kenny Bell is out with a hamstring, and Mike Evans rested with a hamstring injury, the starter who should be ready on opening day. And there's right tackle Goster Cherilus, former #1 pick, who was in on that last drive. Since coming in, been a shift in the offense. And there goes Doug Martin.
You mentioned him. They run right over to that side. His side behind Ali Marpet. I'm not sure if there's causation in his substitution into the game, but the production has definitely increased. A lot of credit there to Doug Martin, too. Look at his legs turn, man. This kid is unbelievable.
Did you just say causation?
Yeah, put in another guy.
I love it. I know what you meant. I just was trying to Google it or research it or something. Bottom line is it's a first down for the Bucs. Cherilus likely to be your starter opening day for the injured DeMar Dotson at right tackle. Almost intercepted. A floating throw from Jameis Winston, who's already been picked off once in this game.
Well, pressure is the mother of turnovers, and you see Doug Martin there trying to pink back, call it a pink back block because that's what it's called, I'm not sure why, and he interferes with Jameis Winston's throw there. His responsibility was that side of the field. Just little things you got to clean up.
Pierre Desir almost had the interception for Cleveland.
You know, talking to Lovie Smith right before the game, he mentioned that they made some progress last week against Cincinnati, or I guess Monday against Cincinnati this week. But this team is not Tennessee ready. There's so much more that has to get done in the next week and a half or so. Those little things like that, miscommunication between Jameis and Doug, are a clear example of that. And now you see Dirk Cutter. We've seen this up-tempo offense Week 1, we saw it last week. They've got success with it, and they're showing it here again.
On 3rd and 7, blitz coming. Winston throwing, and catch made for a first down. Vincent Jackson hangs on again.
Like I said, you're looking for a playmaker. When you need the sticks moved, find number 83. Playing zone coverage. Jameis is so confident in the pocket. Knows there's going to be a window there. They're playing zone. And I tell you what, Chris, he played in shotgun all through college. Wasn't under the center much, but he was really good running the offense from the line of scrimmage.
And here he goes again, a little bit of hesitation to Doug Martin, who makes it work, fighting to get down to the 26. Well, that's one thing Dirk Cutter said, we want to, during the season, we're going to use a lot of no huddle, even though Jameis is only 21 for a rookie quarterback. You know, he gets it. He gets when he goes to the line, and Dirk Cutter calls the plays directly into his helmet. Winston is sharp enough to change a play and get him out of trouble if the defense adjusts.
I couldn't have said it better, Chris. And you get a defense on its heels. They don't have time to make substitutions, and Jameis is thriving right now in this situation.
Quick throw. Intended for Murphy. Play never really developed, and the veteran Tramon Williams over there covering. Murphy was not open. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, you're messing with dangerous company here, trying to throw a ball at Tramon Williams. There's not many defensive backs in the last 7-8 years that have made more interceptions than Tramon Williams. When he was at Green Bay, he was one heck of a football player, and he only adds to what is already a talented deep secondary here or there in Cleveland.
Bucs are just 1 out of 5 on 3rd down conversions. Winston's throw, and in the area of Jackson, incomplete. Coverage was good. Charles Gaines was over there. And no flags. Connor Barth will try a field goal, re-signed this week after being cut in Denver. Kicked for the Broncos in 5 games last year. He was the Bucs kicker for 4 seasons and holds the Bucs record for field goal accuracy. A franchise record streak of 25 straight field goals. He has to take the job away from Patrick Murray.
This ought to be interesting. This kicking competition here down the line with Murray and Connor Barth here.
From 43 yards.
Well, that's not going to help him.
But that is off the mark.
That's not going to help him there. But what I was getting ready to say is Connor Barth, when I was here playing, he was the most reliable kicker I've been around. We had Matt Bryant. Matt Bryant was an excellent kicker. Still is kicking in Atlanta. But Connor came in here. He's got a smooth stroke. The Achilles injury obviously was part of the reason they brought in competition for him last year, competition for which he lost. But he's back. I know he's probably in an uphill battle to beat out Patrick Murphy because Lovey told us that it's his job. But Connor is very capable to give him some competition here in the next couple of weeks. See if we can shore down another aspect of this special teams.
And no mystery on punting. Michael Kanan being challenged with 3 punters in camp for Tampa Bay. Terrence West, the running back, taking over at the Cleveland 33. McCown right on target. Reaching down to get it was Gabriel. And that's good enough. Taylor Gabriel's grab for a Cleveland 1st down.
You know what? That running game earlier in the game for Cleveland really showing some benefits now. That play right there, Danny Lansana was all the way in the line of scrimmage on that play fake, and that ball went right over his head for that completion. Got to be more patient there at that strong linebacker position.
Mike Jenkins and Jonathan Banks, the corners. West, the carry, a chance in the backfield. He's eventually brought down around the 42-yard line. Good pressure applied right away.
Watch this kid. Watch Quan Alexander run through the defense here. Looks like he's moving at 2 times the speed of everybody else on that defense. You know, his athleticism is a huge plus for this defense this year. Mason Foster was there last year, was ill fit for the position. They bring in Bruce Carter, but he has clearly won this Mike linebacker position. He's got a long way to go. There's a lot of things to see still, but the talent is very evident.
He's the only draft pick on defense in 2 years under Lovie Smith. Incomplete. The receiver Hartline was open. McCown missed him. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, they've spent a lot of time addressing the other side of the ball for sure. Drafted 2 offensive linemen. This year, obviously drafted the quarterback.
But I want to talk about Alexander at 21. He's taking in the defensive signals and delivering them to the veterans on the team.
It's a big responsibility for a guy that's never done it. I'm not discounting his ability to do it. And I got a great story for you about Quan Alexander and his captain over there on defense, Levante David. Let's see if we can get to it after this snap.
On 3rd down, Cleveland 3 out of 6 conversion. 3rd down so far. McCown steps up and throws to an open receiver. Again, it's Hartline inside the 40. 1st down, Cleveland. And there's a flag down. Back in the area of McCown.
While they discuss this penalty, during training camp this year, Levante David, and I've not heard this a lot with veteran players, and Levante's a veteran now, even though he's young.
Personal foul. Chalk block. Offense. Number 77. That's a 15-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
All right, that call is on guard John Greco.
Levante would go in every day after practice to look to Quan Alexander's room over at the hotel and study film with him. I mean, that is going above and beyond. People talk about making your teammates better. You got a very talented young player that's getting indoctrinated into a new system. A lot of responsibility. When he moved to Mike linebacker, and Levante David helped him along the way.
Lovie Smith, the first 2 players we talked about with him, and he doesn't talk a lot about individuals. Usually it's a team game. It was Levante David and Quan Alexander. On 3rd down, McCown hands off to West. And Terrence West will be cut down around the 30. And again, it's Quan Alexander. He came in leading the team in tackles in the preseason. He was a sprinter on the track team at Alabama's Oxford High School. And again, on the list of Alabama's top high school players in 2011, he was number 2 because the number 1 guy was Jameis Winston.
A lot of great players coming out of LSU the past 3 or 4 years. Quan Alexander, probably low on a lot of people's radar, but Jason Light told me this story too. This is a great story. He was sitting on the board. They were wondering why nobody was taking Quan Alexander because they had him top 30, 40 players in the draft. Called his guy at LSU and said, before he could say a word, he said, draft him.
Adam Humphries on the return, and the rookie gets out of bounds across the 22.
His guy at LSU said, draft him. They moved up in the draft in the 4th round, took Quan Alexander, and now look at him. 3 games into his preseason, he's already starting at Mike linebacker, and I think he's a great addition to this football team.
Quan Alexander, 4th round pick from LSU, who was 1st team All-SEC. You're just full of stories tonight. You've been hanging around the Bucs camp.
They haven't kicked me out yet.
you don't play that anymore. Just so you know.
I hang out with Jason Light, and I hang out with Mike Greenberg.
All the executives and the big shots.
Yeah, and I act like an intern. That's my job. I'm the Bucs season intern right now.
On 1st down, Jameis Winston with a quick pass to Murphy. Louis Murphy gets up across the 27-yard line, and we're glad to have you watching with Rondé Barber, the longtime Buccaneer Ironman defensive back. Chris Myers, and you're excited about this Bucs team this year.
I'm very excited. I meant preseason intern.
Yes,
during the season, we have other jobs.
we have another job, but we're always watching the Bucs.
Absolutely.
Week 2, we'll be calling the Bucs game in New Orleans.
Excited about that one. We also have Week 4. Get to see Mike Allstott inducted into the Ring of Honor here. It'll be a great opportunity for us. I'm excited about this Bucs football team. Obviously, there's a long way to go. They're not going to – people anticipating them making the playoffs or whatever else, let that play itself out. But what we do know is they got better. They got better because they drafted that kid right there, Jameis Winston. They got better because they drafted Donovan Smith and Ali Marpet. And I just look forward to what they become in 2015.
And the injured member of the Browns is Pierre Desir, the cornerback. Just about 2.5 minutes remain. Not exactly sure how that injury happened, but after the pass toward Murphy, Browns medical staff out on the field to help him up.
The Browns drafted Justin Gilbert last year with the 1st pick before they drafted Johnny Manziel. He can't see the field because of this kid, Pierre Desir. Quan Williams is another guy that's injured tonight, but You hate to see a kid that's really fighting for playing time in the secondary get hurt. Hopefully this is not a big deal. You see him getting up and walking off under his own power.
Fans applauding the fact that he is able to get up and walk off, and headed to the Browns sideline. You can follow Erica or any other tropical system during hurricane season with the free News Channel 8 and Storm Team 8 mobile apps. Just search WFLA in your app store. Storm Team 8 is on your side. Not enough rain in the Tampa area to last us a lifetime. We don't need any more of that for a while. Your backyard dry out yet, Rondé?
Until today.
A few more showers.
Getting back underwater as I left to come down here to the game tonight.
Well, Steve Jervey, all the weather folks, Storm Team 8 will keep you updated, and it's important to stay clued in, as the governor of Florida informed everybody. So keep an eye on things. Winston stepping out of the pocket and on the move. Can he get the first down and go out of bounds? Looks like he did.
How about Jameis Winston showing some athleticism there? You know, didn't run very fast. Marcus Mariota is supposedly the fastest quarterback in forever, but Jameis Winston here showed a little bit that he can be an athlete. You know, he played baseball. He knows how to turn bases, run away from defensive linemen.
And they spotted it a little bit short, so I don't know if he stepped out early. So it's going to be 3rd down and 1, nearing the 2-minute warning, and 3 timeouts remain for both the Buccaneers and the Browns. Winston has yet to throw a touchdown pass. He's run for a couple of touchdowns. Tonight, Doug Martin has the touchdown run for the Bucs, trailing by 10 at the 2-minute warning here in Tampa Bay. Keith Kate, Jennifer Lee, and Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervey are on your side weeknights at 11 p.m. on News Channel 8. Watch Tampa Bay's #1 11 p.m. news each weeknight on News Channel 8 with Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Dan Lucas on the field with halftime stats coming up. Charles Sims is checked in on 3rd down and 1. All 3 timeouts for both the Bucs and Browns. There you go. Here's Jameis pointing out the defense, making an adjustment, and going to throw it. And into coverage, almost intercepted. He was trying to get it to Vincent Jackson, who was covered, and again, Charles Gaines was over there.
That would have been an important 3rd down. I mean, you don't get many opportunities in the preseason to get in the 2-minute. 3rd and 1, they decide to pass, and really there was nowhere to go. You got to give credit to Cleveland's defense there. Those windows were too tight even for Jameis Winston's strong arm.
Josh Shum is coming in, one of 3 punters on this team. The Bucs also added a long snapper this week, so they are trying to improve the special teams any way they can. Benjamin has it, spins around at the 20 and falls forward at the 21-yard line. We'll go back to Jameis Winston because the receiver situation, with Vincent Jackson having a couple and Murphy having a couple, the young receiver battle we talked about. Kenny Bell is injured. Kalen Clay got hurt tonight, so we need to see if Humphreys or Rennell Hall or Dante Dye will emerge.
And we'll get a chance to see some of them in the second half of the game. there you see Kenny Bell's hair. How about that hair? But yeah, as slow as they started in the first quarter, we didn't get that many opportunities to see those guys. I mean, it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. But yeah, that battle is really, really important for us tonight and for you guys at home watching to see which one of those guys is going to be the 4th, 5th receiver on this football team.
Josh McCown underneath, catch made and knocked around, and he gets up to the 30. That's Andrew Hawkins, who looked like he was stopped, but tremendous balance from the free agent from Toledo, a former Bengal. And McCown going without a huddle, spotted at the 29-yard line. And it's a good thing Jameis Winston and most of the starters on offense will play into the 3rd quarter, because they're going to need to if they hope to.
Yeah, we need more of a look from them.
Try and cut into the score, this lead. Comes a flag.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
2-minute defense. You know, there's a lot of situations in football. None are more important than 2-minute before the half, at the end of the game. See if the Bucs can step up and get a stop here. That was a big, big flag there. Send it to 2nd and 8. for the Buccaneers here.
The quarterback numbers tonight and a couple of sacks on Winston. You don't see the pressure that happened early. And one positive here that the Bucs have only had one penalty so far in this half after
it was raining yellow on Monday.
There were so many on Monday night. McCown again on target. That's Gabriel. It'll be third down, and
we'll get a chance here to watch Quan Alexander run this 2-minute defense. He's making all the calls. You see him getting right here in the middle of your screen, getting the call from the sideline from Hardy Nickerson, having to relay it to every player. That is a big responsibility for a young player, and he's doing it. Doing a nice job of it.
Now the Bucs are letting this run because the way Cleveland went without a huddle here, but they're chewing up the clock. If they don't get it, Tampa Bay won't have a lot of time. If Cleveland does get it, they'll have their 3 timeouts. McCown on the move, and he evades the pass rush, and is hit hard at the 25 by Quan Alexander. A moving target, and Alexander hit it.
And they'll take a timeout here so they can get some time on the clock.
McCown is okay.
That was a natural reaction by
you. You almost hit the ceiling in here.
We're 50 yards up here in this booth, and I felt like I was playing here. Look at Henry Melton missed a sack. Josh McCown keeping his eyes up down the field. Look, buddy, you better keep your eyes up when Quan Alexander is on the field. This is a monster hit. You do not want your starting quarterback taking hits like that in the preseason.
Talked about his track star ability and his speed, and you saw it after the timeout. Adam Humphries will be back. It's the kind of hit, there are no flags. Again, when the quarterback's out of the pocket, it's a little bit of a different deal.
No, that was a clean hit. Helmet up, chest in Josh McCown's chest, and he went down hard. But most importantly, they get a stop on third down, and Jameis Winston in this offense gets a chance. 24 seconds on the clock now. See if they can get points on the board.
4th tackle for Quan Alexander, considered a sack. Andy Lee gets it away, and Humphries. 20 seconds remaining inside the 30. And the Bucs will have 2 timeouts after using one there, but less than 20 to play before the half. Look at the smiles on the side of the bench where the defensive players are. In fact, every player over there.
Yeah, that was definitely a play. It brings some juice out onto this defense, and this translate over to the offense. Come out after halftime. Look at everybody. Man, hey, you just almost killed Josh McCown, and everybody's rallying around it right now.
Well, the Bucs still want to try to get something, and there it is again.
Looking like a superhero right there, isn't he?
The youngest member on this Bucs team, at 21, younger than this guy, Jameis Winston, who throws it high for Safari and Jenkins, and it'll be second down. With just 12 seconds remain. Connor Barth missed on a 40-plus field goal. Otherwise, the Bucs would be within 7. Winston has suffered an interception early and been sacked twice.
With 2 timeouts here, you still have a chance to complete some balls over the middle. You know, you need a big one, though. You need something that's going to eat up about 20 yards and then give yourself a chance to get one more throw to the sideline, or if you still have that timeout, to get a chance to get an extra play and get the field goal unit onto the field.
4 wide receivers, and he goes underneath to Charles Sims. And there goes Sims out of bounds with a first down across the 42.
Well, that's one, but this next play is going to have to be either to the sideline, or he may even just decide to heave this thing.
Well, we saw the Hail Mary in the first preseason game where he got it to the end zone and had a chance.
Yeah, there's no question. Ronnell Hall's coming into the game. Austin Safari and Jenkins is out. I think this is going to be a Hail Mary. I don't know that they call it Hail Mary anymore, but
what should we call it?
I don't know. We should ask that. We should ask
the go for it.
You talked to Dirk Cutter earlier.
Yeah,
today.
well, you got from Lovie Smith that it's a takeaway. It's not a turnover anymore, or a giveaway on the offense, because he said our defense is thinking now, and they scored in the last 2 games. They had 3. And none so far tonight, but he said our defense now is talking about taking it away. Every play, every snap, they have a chance to take it.
I thought it was interesting when he told us that, and that Brian Urlacher, who was a great middle linebacker for him in Chicago, actually told him after his first meeting, he said, "Coach, you were in there talking about turnovers. Well, In Chicago, they're takeaways, and he's brought that attitude here. And then really, you talk about takeaways. I know the offense on the field here, but just on a little tangent here. Takeaways are about a mentality. First year of this defense, they had some growing pains. But as they grew into it at the end of last year, now obviously the preseason this year, it can be your mentality. You don't have to worry about learning the defense anymore. You can just focus on getting the ball back. And they've done it well so far in the preseason.
The rush coming. It'll be another sack on Winston as they were hoping for the deep throw. Ibrahim Campbell from his safety spot getting the third sack of Winston here in this first half. Cleveland will get the ball to open the second half. The Bucs will have to kick off. Let's check in down on the field. Dan Lucas is with Lovie Smith.
Lovie's a tale of two different quarters here. Really, all three phases played a part in falling behind in that deep hole. What went on that early slow start?
Well, it's just it. We didn't have a fast start. Of course, the turnover didn't help us in at all. You can't give up a punt return like that. We started playing better football at the end of the half, though.
A defensive stop. There was a hit on 3rd and 8. Henry Melton completed the pressure, and it led to a quick scoring drive, and that got things going in the second quarter. Were you much happier with the second quarter?
Yeah, we were happy with it, but right now on the defensive side of the ball, we got to take the ball away. We're down takeaways right now. That's what we need to do in the second half.
What do you want to see from Jameis here when we come out?
Just protect football. We need to get some drives. We're down 10. We got to put some points on the board.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go back upstairs.
More with Dan Lucas. The Toyota halftime report is coming up with stats and highlights from the first half. Rondé Barber and I back for the second half. We're glad you're watching Buccaneer football from Tampa Bay. The Browns leading by 10 at the break. Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, and nice to have you watching from Raymond James Stadium. Bucs will wrap up the preseason Thursday down in South Florida with the Dolphins, who have great expectations this season as well, trailing the Browns as we get ready to start the third quarter by 10. And Tampa Bay will kick off. Remember, Cleveland won the toss to open the game, deferred, and their defense dominated early. Punt return, then a touchdown toss from McCown. That got him going before Lovie Smith's team got it in gear.
We've seen the defense step up there in the second quarter. Offense got some drives going, got some movement going, but it's still dealing with the pressure up front. I want to give a positive grade to this unit right now, but offensive line has struggled. Quarterback has struggled making the right reads, making some bad throws. The running game got going a little bit there, but a little too late. What I like about Lovie Smith in this third game, he is treating this like it's the real deal. He's evaluating this like it's the first game of the season, what his 53-man roster will look like. We'll get to see a lot of that in the second half. Get to keep evaluating some of these players.
And the kicking game part of that, and this is Carl Schmitz, the punter, who's battling Kanan for the punting job, kicking off an area where Murray and Kanan have handled before. Just up across the 21-yard line on the return is Jennings once again for Cleveland, where they will take over on offense. And after the tough hit that Quan Alexander played on 36-year-old Josh McCown, we'll see how the veteran quarterback responds here in the second half. Remember, no Johnny Manziel. In fact, shut down, according to the staff, the coaching staff, the rest of the preseason. That sore elbow, that three-quarter delivery that causes that, something that Manziel has had a problem with since high school. So he's watching as McCown leads the offense. Crowell in the backfield. On first down, Cleveland. McCown with the throw. That's Jim Dre at the tight end up across the 30. A couple of former Cardinal tight ends on this Cleveland team. Rob Hausler, one of them, and Jim Dre, the other. Still see the starting defense for the most part of the Buccaneers out there. Swearinger getting the start at safety. After a gain of 9, here comes a whistle.
False start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Mike Pettine's team last year, the Browns had a 7-4 record, lost their last 5, and the quarterback play had a lot to do with it, or the lack thereof.
I know what wasn't bad is that offensive line. That offensive line Joe Thomas, Joel Patonio, who had that false start there, Alex Mack, Joe Greco, those guys are studs up front. So if they get a quarterback playing decent football, this is going to be a team that's going to challenge in the AFC.
Wide open and caught. You saw Swearinger coming in to put pressure as Benjamin crosses the middle and makes the catch.
What a game Travis Benjamin's having. He had the punt return for a touchdown earlier in the game. He's been targeted a bunch in the pass game. Showing up. It's his third reception of the night.
Miami Hurricane from Belglade, Florida. The Browns signed Hartline and Bowe to be their stud receiver since Josh Gordon is in further trouble and suspended for the year.
And they also have Andrew Hawkins. Thought we'd see a bit of Terrell Pryor making his transition to wide receiver from quarterback, but he is not playing in the game yet either.
McCown keeps, slides across the 40, and an awkward-looking play.
Not really an awkward play, really a good play by Josh McCown. You know, this was supposed to be a little bubble pass, but Sterling Moore there comes in the passing window, and instead of forcing it down his throat for an incompletion, he decides to pull it down and get some positive yards out of that play.
Moore, the nickel back. Leonard Johnson injured, was on crutches this week. There may be an injury settlement. We're speculating, and they can always re-sign him, but he's out of the picture for the Bucs at the moment as Crowell runs to bring up third down.
We've talked about it many times about Lovie Smith's defense. He treats the nickel corners as solely different positions. They're not corners, they're not safeties, they're nickel backs. Leonard Johnson was the starter, started majority of this season or at the position last year, but he wasn't getting enough production. And so they brought in some competition, but he got injured last week. I thought he may have been winning that job. His hustle and his effort is unparalleled. But Sterling Moore is getting the opportunity to fill that role in tonight and see what we got out of that position.
On 3rd and 5, see how the Bucs play it defensively. Protection for McCown, and now he's got to run out of the pocket. And on the move, throws towards the sideline. And the catch is made by Taylor Gabriel.
Well, you get in third down situation, you do not want your quarterback to have this much time. And I'm not sure if there's not a hold on this play. Watch Henry Melton right here. He's spying the quarterback just in case he decides to run. And as he goes into pursuit, yeah, I think he could have been called there.
No call, gain of 10, so they're on the Buccaneers side of the field. From the Tampa Bay 48, Crowell straight ahead. Now he's inside the 44. Swearinger eventually made the tackle. Well, you look at that secondary for the Bucs, and Lovie Smith is satisfied with the depth at safety with McDougald and Conte and Swearinger and Major Wright, who's not playing tonight.
Yeah, Keith Tandy in that mix too as a fifth safety who will probably be a special teams contributor. I want to see Chris Conte play. I know we mentioned him earlier. I think they brought him in here to start, and if he's healthy, I believe they think he is the best athlete in the secondary. Played corner in college. Hopefully get a chance to see some more of him later in this football game.
Terrence West in, hauls in the throw from McCown, slips a tackle and gets near the first down. Down around the 38, they're going to give him that progress as he went out near the marker.
There's not enough superlatives.
And he got the first down.
To talk about Levante David, but he's kicking himself right here. He had a clear shot to make a tackle for loss on that little swing pass, and he missed it. Second one we've seen tonight. You know, it's only a third preseason game. I know what he is. We all know what he is. Only one linebacker in a 4-3 defense better than him. That's Luke Kuechly in Carolina, even though they play different positions. He needs to make that tackle.
Terrence West, the back, straight ahead. Big hole, West still going all the way down to 22 of the Bucs. Blasting through the middle of that Buccaneer front line.
Well, that's about the second or third long run. You see a stunt up there in the front. Either Quan Alexander or Levante David ended up in the wrong gap. I mean, Lovey's defense is single gap. There's one responsibility. You hit him, there should be somebody there, free tackle, and Lovie Smith's got to be saying, what in the heck is going on with that? That is not the type of brand of football he play around here.
Terrence West this time thrown down after a couple.
However, this is a big test, though, for the Bucs D-line. I mean, we give a lot of superlatives to Gerald McCoy. We've talked about George Johnson. who's playing up front. You talk about Henry Melton, who's playing defensive end and 3 technique. You know, those guys are having a tough day against this Cleveland offensive line. I mentioned their names earlier. This is a good test because this team who lost their last 4 games was still 6th in the NFL in rushing, and it's because of that group right there.
Running back by committee for the Browns continues. Crowell is in. McCown to throw, and that's open again for Benjamin. Dashing to the sideline. He's got a 1st and goal for Cleveland. Alteron Werner ran him out of bounds.
This drive feels oddly familiar to the long drive that they had in the first quarter of this game. A good balance, pass and run. And to be honest, the Bucs have missed some tackles. Alteron Werner's in a perfect situation. Leverage this defense. Make this ball go back to Swearinger, McDougal right there. Instead, he gives up the corner and gets 4 or 5 extra yards on that play.
1st and goal from the Tampa Bay 7. Crowell splits to the bottom of the screen. 3 receivers to the left. McCown, end zone, touchdown Browns! Gary Barnidge is tight end.
Well, you kind of had the feeling that Tampa was turning this around on defense. They had the stops, but clear miscommunication here. See Bradley McDougal get a reroute. I don't know if they're in single high. That is an easy pitch and catch for Josh McCown here for that touchdown.
He played in Chicago, was in Tampa Bay last year, and has come back as Cleveland's starter for this upcoming season and worked over the Buccaneers. McCown with his 2nd touchdown pass of the game. Extra point. And Cleveland opens up a 24-7 lead. The veteran Josh McCown surviving a tough hit from Quan Alexander in the 2nd quarter to deliver a strike in the 3rd. Check out the Verizon Fios scoring drive. Get out of the pass, get Fios. McCown, 6 out of 6 on that drive. Over 6 minutes, covered 78 yards and the touchdown toss to his tight end. 2nd touchdown of the game for Josh McCown, who is a 17 of 23, 117 yards in the game. Thad Lewis, the backup for this game, with Manziel resting. Likely to see him in the 2nd half for Cleveland. Rennell Hall working his way up across the 30-yard line. The best return of the night for the Buccaneers. The Central Florida free agent from Miami, Florida, hoping to earn a spot here as a backup receiver and special teams player. News Channel 8 has a new option for you early risers out there. Starting September 8th, News Channel 8 today starts at 4 a.m. Tampa Bay's only local 4 a.m. newscast. Again, September 8th it all begins. You'll see it only on News Channel 8. Doug Martin in the backfield. The longest consecutive minutes that Jameis Winston has played as a pro, as he continues here in the 3rd quarter in his 3rd game. Floats this one and incomplete toward the sideline. The coverage good on Lewis Murphy. Ball hung in the air and allowed Johnson Banamosi to battle away. Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator here, who says he'd rather be upstairs, Rondé, but on the sideline with a young quarterback. He sends in the plays directly to Winston and also can spend more time talking to him in between series.
I think it's a good idea for him to be down there. He needs a calming voice in his ear. Comes to the sideline, a voice of reason.
On 2nd down, it's Doug Martin who has the touchdown run, and he's knocked down right away. I do want to mention that Dirk Cutter's son Davis, quarterback at Berkeley Prep in Tampa, had a couple of touchdown passes last night against Clearwater Central Catholic, and watching in the stands with Dirk Cutter was a guy named Lovie Smith.
It's always nice to be able to bring your the triumvirate. Lovie was there. Our ex-coach Greg Schiano was there, whose sons play at Berkeley. It's probably I don't know if there's any extra security at Berkeley, but maybe
Friday night, a lot of coaching power there, I'll tell you. Those kids will gain a lot. Pressure coming on Winston, and he goes down.
Yeah, well, we're starting to see a lot of mistakes here.
And Landon Feichter got the sack, but Gary Gilkey is in. We have a few reserves.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes by this unit. They bring an extra guy. Jameis has to recognize that there's an unblocked player there. It's his responsibility to either find the hot or get rid of that ball quickly, and he did nothing, and now he's limping on the sideline. I was looking to get a couple more series from Jameis, but we know he was injured last week against Cincinnati. And
Carl Schmitz booms it out of there. Wynn has it for the Browns. Has run out of bounds. Yeah, he left the Cincinnati game, said he could have gone back in, but why take the chance? And we have Dan Lucas on the field. We'll have him check on that because he's your opening day starter. The Bucs fail on offense. Cleveland with the football. Your official Bucs station has 30 minutes of non-stop Buccaneer action every Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Watch Bucs Bonus tomorrow night, 11:30, only on News Channel 8. After the punt, Cleveland taking over from the 45. Thad Lewis, the 27-year-old from Duke, taking over at quarterback. Born in Opelika, Florida. Parmalee is the running back. And smothered right away, Will Golston, who's had a good preseason for the Bucs, making the stop. And Lewis, so far in the preseason, just 2 out of 4. Remember, Manziel was lighting it up in the preseason before that sore arm, and they decided to shut it down. And Pat Devlin was signed, just picked up this week as a backup, not likely to play. There is Johnny Football, 2 of the last 3 Heisman Trophy winners in the stadium today, with Winston, who won it at 19, the youngest, and Manziel. Lewis on target, slipping a tackle. Spinning around is E.J. Bibbs, the rookie from Iowa State.
E.J. Bibbs. I was talking to a couple of Cleveland guys down there and raving about this guy. As you look at Johnny Manziel, I believe he's the future. He's an exciting player.
You think that he'll be the quarterback in Cleveland at some point?
Quarterback in Cleveland at some point. Josh is going to lead the ship here, and he just needs to be steady. We brought him in here last year to be a steady presence, and he wasn't. He made a bunch of mistakes earlier in the year, was uncharacteristic of what Lovie Smith expected from the position, so we got rid of him. But he goes here, and we said earlier, they love him in Cleveland.
Lewis's pass short of the first down to Hausler, using the tight ends quite a bit. Manziel, remember, of course, his Texas A&M, his Heisman days, Mike Evans was his receiver, who's inactive tonight, and Evans said he was going to say hello, but he said, I've done my time with that mobile running around quarterback. I'm glad that the Bucs drafted a stay in the pocket Jameis Winston kind of quarterback.
Oh, he can do nothing but benefit. Obviously, the goal of this offense is going to be to push the ball down the field. You have deep threats, huge targets in Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson. Throw in Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who's huge, and Lewis Murphy, who feels small at 6'2". But yeah, it's going to be a vertical passing game. They got to be able to protect. That's the name of the game.
Gets away from the punt, as Andy Lee is one of the best. Historically, it's placing the ball inside the 20. We'll see who comes out to quarterback for the Bucs as they take over on offense. Next game, the Bucs and Dolphins. Hope you see it here with us on News Channel 8. That's coming up Thursday. Remember the roster cut from 90 to 75 in between. Then after that, you get down to 53 players with 10 on the practice squad. And the Bucs Bonus pregame show will lead up to the game Thursday night as Mike Glennon is in for Jameis Winston. Charles Sims the back. Deep in Buccaneer territory from inside the 7 on first down. Sims.
Well, now that Jameis Winston's night is over, take a quick summary about what we saw tonight. And we thought he had some struggles in week 1 against Minnesota, improved drastically week 2 against Cincinnati, but tonight was very inconclusive.
Well, the offensive line, the young line against that Cleveland defensive front, really, as you said early, Ronde, just didn't allow him to do much.
And there's a lot of things they'll be able to take away from this film. We mentioned
pass is hauled in by Ronnell Hall.
We mentioned earlier that they're facing a 3-4 front. Mike Patton, I'm telling you, this defense is going to be aggressive. And if he needed to see some looks, some different looks, he got them tonight. Blitzes, they run a 3-4 defense, but they get in the overlook with 4 down linemen. He's going to be able to study this film. I like this guy, Mike Pettin, not only because he's a Virginia guy.
Okay, I knew there was a catch.
There's a catch in there, of course.
Right.
But I love what he's been able to do with this football team. No expectations for this team last year. They win 7 games. If not for some bad quarterback play down the stretch, they're probably in the playoffs last year. So this is a good test for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hall, and he couldn't hold on from Glennon, or it would have been a first down. And Pettin's defense does the job. Of course, when he was in Buffalo, Thad Lewis was there. His Rex Ryan assistant over the years, and in his second year in Cleveland, it's interesting, Ronnie, you talk about him and the quarterback. Since 1999, Cleveland hasn't kept a head coach and quarterback the same to get two together for more than 2 years.
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. Pettin is hoping to change that. They open against the Jets, Cleveland does, and they have their own quarterback problems. Jacob Shum with the punt, and Shane Wynn watches it go out of bounds. And the Buccaneer offense non-existent here in the second half. Cleveland with a 24-7 lead as the football. This Buccaneer broadcast a Bruce Copeland production, directed by Jimmy Lee Starling Jr. with Todd Sullivan, our coordinating producer, Rick Odioso and James Petralka helping us in the booth, and the legendary Chip Hansen helping us work things up here.
Quick observation about this team. What do it after this snap? These two teams.
I wanted to mention that was a 55-yard punt. This punting battle. Kanan has not punted tonight. Schmitz and Shum, sounds like a law firm, will go over their numbers. But Lewis is on the move for Cleveland and runs out of bounds.
I think it's important to note that unlike normal weeks, I mean, even when you play a Thursday night football game, you have a couple of days to prepare. The Bucs only had 3 days to prepare for this game. And this is the 3rd game of the year, the penultimate game of the preseason, where teams usually get a big game plan in just to see what it's going to be like during the season. They didn't have that opportunity. And conversely, Cleveland, who also played on Monday night, Gruden got to do both of these games, had 10 days to get ready for the Bucs. I think you can see the difference
going
in the preparation.
Back, to a previous Monday night. John Gruden, of course, the Bucs Super Bowl coach, who does a great job at Monday Night Football with Mike Tirico. And yet for the Bucs, they're going to play 3 games in an 11-day span. This is the second of those 3, because Thursday night would be the last. And in that comes the roster cut, as we mentioned, from 90 to 75 and then down to 53, in which
I think is crazy.
Makes it difficult on this punting situation as well.
It makes it ridiculous for special teams guys that are battling for the bottom of the roster, having to play, really on a short week, because they're going to play next Thursday, and then play not only special teams but all the position battles, because most of your starters won't see time next week against Miami.
Lewis, sideline throw, deep and on target, all the way inside the 11 is Josh Lenz. Inside the 5, actually, of the Buccaneers. What a throw from Thad Lewis.
3rd and 2. Bucs get in man-to-man defense. There's pressure immediately on Thad Lewis. You see Sidbury there on the turn in the corner. Larry English, he gets nailed but puts a perfect strike on this throw. See the corner just getting run by, and Chris Conte, all he can do to come over and stop that from being a touchdown.
A 48-yard play. Flanders in at running back. Timothy Flanders is knocked down right away. It'll be 2nd and goal. Lawrence Sidbury, backup defensive lineman, on the stop. How about some of the depth on the defensive line? Looks like Will Golston's in good shape. Daquan Bowers may be a bubble guy.
Yeah, we saw a lot of these guys get playtime last week. William Golston's a guy that I really like. He's been an interesting transition. He was a defensive end last year for this team. Now he's playing defensive tackle, but he has the ability to be a swing guy. And that week 1, Sidbury showed me a little bit of juice. He'll get an opportunity the rest of this game to show if he can be a situational rusher for this team.
End zone throw is high on 2nd and goal. He was open. Again, Josh Lenz the target. He's only 6 feet. If he were 6'6", he might have been able to haul that in.
Brandon Dixon, just these last 2 plays, is struggling on him. Both single high defenses, man-to-man, and he lost his guy on both opportunities.
Sterling Moore checks into the Bucs secondary. It's 3rd and goal from the 7, and Timothy Flanders remains the back. 3 receivers to the right of Thad Lewis, one at the top of your screen. And Lewis can run. He's dashing toward the end zone and touchdown. Thad Lewis will run it in for Cleveland.
You need lane integrity down here in the red zone, and Bucs fall into cover 2. Got 3 receivers out to one side of the field. No real pressure to speak of, and Thad Lewis, veteran, knows that there's a gap over there, the bubble side of the defense. All he has to do is make one guy miss, and he just falls into the end zone for another Cleveland touchdown.
Thad Lewis, know the Rams and Cleveland, Buffalo, Houston, back to Cleveland. And again, Mike Pettin had him in Buffalo, or at least was on the staff, and liked what he could do there as a backup. Kerry Spear now. Cleveland's kicking battle still yet to be decided, something the coach of the Browns will have to make a decision on at some point. Hasn't been the same since Phil Dawson left. A 33-yard extra point. And now it's a 31-7 Browns lead here in Tampa Bay.
Well, I know I was giving some reasoning and maybe excuses or whatever, basically tools for why this team is showing so poorly tonight, but Lovie Smith is not going to be happy when he puts this film on tomorrow and when his team gets together. You know, you're looking for some position battles and all that other stuff, but you want your team to be able to gel in this last preseason game, really the last one that matters, and we haven't seen it much tonight. There's been no continuity on defense. They were good for a couple of series, and since then they've fallen off completely in the second half. I mean, there's teaching moments, of course, in all these preseason games. The good thing about this 31-7 score right now is that it doesn't count. But they are not going to be happy when they go watch this film.
Lovie Smith is hoping his team can put together a Verizon Fios scoring drive. Maybe there was too much put into that second game against Cincinnati versus this, the third game. But you're right, Lovie Smith will not allow his players to offer excuses. Kicking off for Cleveland, it's Spear. And it's Hall back for the Bucs. He had a 33-yard return before. And Hall, can he get outside? Puts a little move back inside and gets across the 30. Another nifty return from Ronnell Hall, nicknamed Speedy, the free agent receiver from the University of Central Florida, who is slow to get up.
Well, they call him Speedy. His 40 time doesn't indicate it. He's a shifty guy. Look at this cutback. You can see him go down here at the end of this play, and he's obviously in agony. Look at his face. Something happened with his lower leg, and he's down on the ground now.
Already in this game, remember Kenny Bell and Mike Evans were not active because of injury, hamstring injuries, and Kalen Clay had a shot to the ribs, and that's why he hasn't returned from earlier in this game. Slow to get up, but Hall does get up. Dante Dye is actually the rookie from Heidelberg College, the free agent. Fairfield, Ohio is where Dante Dye is from. He's actually the fastest guy on the roster, according to Jason Light, the Bucs general manager, who will be joining us live on Thursday night in the second half of the game to help us with some of the roster moves and draft choices. Mike James is in the game and gets up across the 40 on the handoff from Mike Glennon.
It's an important part of the game for me here, Chris. You got your backups in this game, especially along the offensive line. Somebody has got to step up and be an accountable player on this offensive line. Whether it's a rookie, whether it's Matthew Masafila, who we haven't talked about, who I'd love to get into because he's transitioning from being a D tackle to a guard. Got to see what you got depth-wise on this football team.
James knocked down again, and that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter on the Honda scoreboard with the Browns leading 31-7. Summer's the time to check out the Honda Summer Clearance Event, where you have great deals on new Hondas packed with standard features right now at your Honda dealer. DraftKings, a look at the third quarter stats presents Play Weekly Fantasy Football for free and win as Glennon comes out firing for a first down catch by Dante Dye. And DraftKings, if you play weekly fantasy football, you can win huge cash prizes. Welcome to the big time. Get to DraftKings.com now and play weekly. The third quarter stats. And Dye with that catch keeps the Bucs on the move. Bobby Rainey checks in and carries into a crowd. I want to mention Mike Glennon because with some of the injuries in the preseason, the Bucs have received phone calls from teams interested in trading for Mike Glennon, but the Bucs are saying, hey, no way, not at this stage. We have a proven backup, and Jameis Winston's our starter, but he's too valuable this year, and they believe they can contend for the division. Remember, Carolina won it with a sub-500 record last year. Glennon in trouble. Dumps it to Rainey. He slips a tackle and fights to get to the first down and goes out of bounds.
I mean, sure, who wouldn't want this kid, Mike Glennon? He's a proven player in the league. You know, he's never come into camp being the starter, but he's always gotten on the field. Now, that's not likely to happen this year with Jameis Winston being the first pick in the draft, obviously anointed the position. But I'd want him on my football team. I think he's a really good football player.
In only his third year, pass incomplete, could have been caught. That's Hall, who couldn't hold on.
I'll tell you what, there's about 8 teams, and I've gone on over with the number of people who would much prefer to have Mike Glennon as their starting quarterback than what they have in the building. But I'm glad he's a Buccaneer. You never know when you're going to need it.
He had the victory over the Steelers on the last-minute touchdown pass last year. Had a couple of overtime losses as James carries. You know, we haven't seen Robert Huron in this game much, and he's a guy who's on the bubble. Some of the other receivers, even with injuries at that position, fighting for a roster spot on this team.
Yeah, Dante Dye's in the game now. Rennell Hall. Adam Humphries, who we haven't mentioned.
Who's a good slot receiver.
Yeah, out here to the slot, top of your screen.
There's Dye, number 17. Glennon's throw right there for the first down, and Rennell Hall makes the catch.
And this is why you like Mike Glennon. Plays like that. Third down. You know he's going to get some pressure. You see the blitz coming through the middle. Stands in there and delivers a strike to Rennell Hall for the first down. He could have easily held on to that ball, taking a hit, but he knew the urgency of the situation and put it on his receiver, and he got a first down.
Hall is from Carroll City High in Miami. James the carry, University of Miami. You think the Buccaneers will keep all 4 backs with Doug Martin, Sims, Rainey, and James?
I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because you get down to roster cut time, and really your running backs and your tight ends are the ones that make up about 7 positions on the offense. Whether it's 3 tight ends here with Brate, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, and Tim Wright, who's in that conversation, or if you decide to keep 4 running backs and only 3 tight ends. But for me, I mean, these running backs look good. Mike James had a great game last week.
Knocked away and nearly intercepted. Again, he was trying to get the Hall. That hit the ground.
We know what Bobby Rainey is as a runner. He's gotten the opportunity when Doug Martin was hurt to see Charles Sims.
And Rainey as a returner is key.
And the fact that Lovey mentioned that somebody has to beat out Bobby Rainey to be this punt returner kind of hinged at his intentions. 4 running backs, Mike James, who I think was having a great year 2 years ago before he had the injury. He had 200-yard games in Seattle and Miami back-to-back before he got hurt. So they got some quality depth.
Glennon on target behind the receiver, trying to go to Brandon Myers, who actually is being pushed behind Seferian-Jenkins with Stalker by Cameron Brate.
And Brandon Myers is the other tight end that I didn't mention of that group.
And now the field goal unit comes on.
Got to be able to connect on that. This was a nice drive. I haven't seen a sustained drive on this offense since the second quarter. You get one, and just giving all those platitudes to Mike Glennon, and he puts a pass behind a wide open receiver right there. That should have been a continuation of this one.
Now this is Murray. Connor Barth missed earlier. This from 44 is no good. So a miss from 43 and 44. Maybe the Buccaneers don't have their place kicker on the roster at the moment. The drive stalls and the kick fails, and Cleveland takes over with a 31-7 lead here in the fourth. Follow Erica or any tropical system during hurricane season with the free News Channel 8 and Storm Team 8 mobile apps. Search WFLA on your app store. Storm Team 8 is on your side. Rained earlier before the game, has not rained during the game tonight. Parmalee the back gets the carry from Lewis and has plenty of running room. Bounces his way across midfield. The free agent running back from Toledo follows the combination of Crowell, Terrence West, and Duke Johnson.
They've had their way in the running game tonight, that's for sure.
Dominated on the ground. The total yard numbers for Cleveland, the offensive yardage they've piled up, that was a 17-yard run. Parmalee remains the back for Thad Lewis. Josh McCown worked into the third quarter, has a couple of touchdown passes. That's Parmalee again. Will Goldston on the tackle. We saw Timothy Flanders running a little bit in between there for Cleveland. And you mentioned, Rondé, the offensive line with stalwarts like Joe Thomas, the defensive line, draft picks up front, #1 pick like Danny Shelton. And we've seen that tonight. The line of scrimmage, Cleveland has had the upper hand.
Clearly won the battle up front in the trenches, and it has to start there for every football team. And Cleveland's got after us tonight.
Lewis's pass complete. Shane Wynn, who we've seen on the return game, who's from Cleveland, Ohio, is with the Falcons. Rolls that in. Well, we know the Bucs division with Atlanta and Carolina, of course the Saints. For Cleveland, you've got the Bengals, who Buc fans saw firsthand, the Steelers, and the Baltimore Ravens.
It's a tough division.
Yeah.
Tough division.
Tough to climb upward.
They got some pieces in place, though. I've been impressed with them tonight.
Parmalee met right away by Goldston, who's been active here in the second half.
I was just going to say, you know who else I've been impressed with is William Goldston. This is about the third, maybe fourth hit in the backfield that we've seen from Will Goldston. Again, I mentioned earlier, he's got some position variability. He can play inside, outside. He's at the top of your screen there and just runs through the block of 64 there and tackle for loss. Good play.
And it seems like with Henry Melton, you pointed out, and Tony McDaniel, a lot of versatility in the defensive line that will allow Lovie Smith to do the kinds of things he wants to. And looks like we're setting up for the punt.
They need to find pass rushers. That's the question.
Haven't seen a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, obviously there's no pass rush tonight. Didn't affect the pocket. I mean, earlier in the game, Josh McCown was under a little duress, but when he needed time to throw it, he had time to throw it. What you have in William Goldston and what you have in Henry Melton are guys that can be first and second down defensive ends. But what they need is a guy that can really rush the passer and affect the pocket, play alongside Gerald McCoy, and make this defense a lot easier to function.
Andy Lee with a high kick, so good at placing it inside the 20, and that's what he does as Humphries gets out of the way. Total yards, Cleveland up nearing the 300-yard mark. Tampa Bay below the 200-yard mark. The Bucs on offense in a moment. Weekdays at 4, Stacy Scheibel and Josh Benson are on your side. Tampa Bay's #1 4 p.m. news. Weekdays following Ellen on News Channel 8. Don't forget the 4 a.m. news, the earliest news in the area. Dominic Brown is in, the running back, free agent from Louisville, with Glennon at quarterback. And Glennon is going to go down again. Winston was sacked quite a bit in the first half. He was sacked 4 times. So this is the first time for Glennon. Winston played into the third quarter, suffering an interception early. The Buccaneer defense has not had a takeaway.
And that'll be the big thing that we emphasize at the end of this football game is the takeaways. It's how they stayed in the game somewhat at Minnesota. It obviously led to huge results last week or Monday against Cincinnati. None today.
This is Brown, who's thrown to the ground and on the outside looking in, maybe a practice squad type player.
Well, yeah, that's the big thing also about this point in the game. And a lot of these guys may or may not have the chance to squeak a roster spot, but you need depth. Even the guys on the practice squad, the numbers were expanded a couple of years ago. So these guys still have a lot to play for. I know they're late in the game and a lot of people might not be paying attention, but these are important players for the depth of your roster.
And that's again the chance to make a practice squad, work your way up. 10 players can be designated in that area. Glennon for Humphreys, and he's open. Adam Humphreys, the rookie from Clemson, on a big gainer, moves the ball up across the 33-yard line.
You like that throw and catch there. Plenty of time in the pocket for Mike Glennon. Delivers another nice ball to Adam Humphreys, who creates some separation. Think about Humphreys, Adam Humphreys. He's not a blazer at all. You know, he's little, and a lot of people think little guys can run. This guy just gets open. Talked to the wide receiver coach yesterday. He was just like, there's nothing outstanding about him, but the way that he moves creates separation. You saw it right there for that completion.
All the star receivers at Clemson, hard to figure that he'd get a lot of attention, but they were able to work him in. And what Dirk Cutter likes most about him is his ability as a slot receiver when you have a healthy Evans and Vincent Jackson out there.
Jason Light was talking about him in the offseason to me. Him and Dante Dye, guys that give you an opportunity to do some varied things.
Humphreys again, the flag in the backfield where Glennon went down, and he was hit as he threw.
Glennon's pass incomplete, intended for Humphreys. Flag.
There was no foul on the play for roughing the passer as the defender was thrown into the quarterback's knees.
Referee Craig Ralsted qualifying, explaining that for us. That pass intended for Humphreys, who caught 127 passes in his career at Clemson. And as we mentioned, guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Martavius Bryant, Sammy Watkins were all in and around the program at that time. He also handled some punts back then. Has a degree in Parks and Recreation. Sounds like a TV show.
I was going to say, what do you do with a degree in Parks?
Speaking of a TV show, Ali Marpet, his story, the rookie offensive lineman from Hobart.
That's a great story.
With his father, a Emmy Award-winning fashion videographer. Glennon throwing off his heel for Humphreys and almost intercepted. So Ali Marpet, the lineman number 74, his mom was in a punk rock band, and she is now a professor for an online university. His dad, an Emmy Award-winning videographer who will miss the first game because that's Fashion Week, so he can't see Ali Marpet's opening game against Tennessee. But he works with supermodels, and his son is a star now in college from Hobart and in the NFL. It sounds like a reality show to me. I mean, you gotta, right? That's better than the Kardashians.
There's Allie right there who we're talking about.
I'm going to try to set up a deal. I'll talk to his agent, see what we can do here. Carl Schmitz on that punt.
You went in on that deal?
So, yeah, I'll do the voiceover for him or something. I don't know. And he has a sister who lives in the area as well.
You have a face for voiceovers.
So, you kid because you care. I'll do the jokes. You do the analysis. Buck fans enjoying the scene, not the score necessarily, but I'm sure on their phones they have the Buccaneers app, where you can go to Buccaneers.com, the website, to follow the team, catch interviews, go over schedules and stats. And the tickets are going fast, by the way, for the home opener, the regular season home opener, the later afternoon kickoff against Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Winston and Mariota forever linked. Flanders carries here in the fourth quarter.
You mentioned two Heisman Trophy winners in the building. Next game, two Heisman Trophy. It's the place to be.
Facing off.
Raymond James Stadium is the place to be next month of the season, if you're into college football.
You know, I hear people around the country who are interested in Jameis Winston say, well, I think he's going to do well in Tampa, but he's going to throw a lot of interceptions. I mean, that was something we saw at Florida State. He shook it off. He only lost one game there, and he obviously had a lot of success. I mean, is that something we can automatically assume, or do you think that
I think the best thing about Jameis is his ability to deal with those interceptions. Every rookie quarterback throws interceptions. I mean, go back to and not to
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton Manning. That's for the comparison there. But Andrew Luck, his rookie year, threw a whole bunch of interceptions, and obviously that was a different situation. After having Peyton get hurt, and whoever was quarterbacking them that following year, they got the #1 pick, and then found the best prospect in football in 20 years in Andrew Luck. But this kid, we know that he's going to make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But what needs to happen, I think, for this offense to be successful is he's got to have some help around him. Dirk Cutter's got to be confident enough to run the football where he doesn't drop back and throw the ball every, first and second down. One of the problems with Atlanta over the past couple of years is what they got completely away from the run. I mean, they were 26th, 32nd, and 27th in rushing attempts the last 3 years. And obviously they have a quarterback in Matt Ryan who has tremendous arm talent and tremendous receiving talent. Julio Jones signing a huge contract extension today in Atlanta. But it was an unbalanced attack. That's not going to work here in Tampa. They need Doug Martin in that running game to make it easier on Jameis Winston. And we didn't really get the chance to see that today. It didn't show itself today.
And they also need those takeaways, those defensive takeaways that produce points to help, as Lovie Smith's team did in Chicago, for offenses that didn't exactly pile up the points. Humphreys from Lee on the fair catch up across the 26-yard line. And we'll get a chance to see the Bucs on offense under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter on a night where the Browns have led from the start and still lead 31-7. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Dan Lucas on the field, and the Bucs taking over on offense. Mike Glennon, 4 out of 8 so far. As we welcome you back inside the booth. It always annoys me when the announcers have this cord. Right, you have to leave. There you go. That's all right.
I'm an amateur.
So you look a little more comfortable here in the booth. The working booth. Glennon floats one a little high, and that was trouble. Almost picked off. Let's continue on the conversation. It was tough to assess Jameis Winston. The coaches will take a closer look at things. Unlikely to play in the 4th preseason game, even though every minute counts for him gaining experience. What were some of the good things that you saw from Jameis Winston earlier tonight?
Well, he still has control of this offense at the line of scrimmage. You can see his comfort level changing the play, getting the call in from the sideline. If it's not there, he has no problems getting him into the right play. What he needs help in is up front. This offensive line failed today. Trying to get a showing from them in this 3rd preseason game, we had nothing that they can build on. And again, there'll be some teaching moments there for Jameis Winston.
There's another sack, the 6th sack of this game for Cleveland. And Matthew Nasafilio, the former defensive lineman playing guard, is a backup in trouble on that one. Let's go back to Winston.
Yeah, there wasn't much to be impressed with. But what he has shown all preseason, in practice and in games, is when he gets the time, he can sit in the pocket and deliver. He'll throw strikes. Vincent Jackson had a bunch of good catches. Showed some athleticism here, getting out of the pocket, protected himself, getting out of bounds. But there really wasn't much to build on if you're watching this film. I mean, Jameis struggled. His numbers were far below what we were expecting after his performance last week. 6 of 15 for 90 yards. But it wasn't all his fault. When you're under constant duress, it's hard to put it on the quarterback to win in those situations. In Cleveland, threw the bus at him, and he did not get out of the way.
Jake Shum back to punt, and Shane Wynn to receive for Cleveland. I asked Lovie Smith when he first sat down for the very first time with Jameis Winston. It's a high kick that drives him back, and Wynn from the 26 of Cleveland is knocked down right around the 30. What he thought, and he said, well, I'm a big first impression guy, is what Lovie Smith said. The first few minutes you either like a guy or you don't. And he said, I only said we're going to talk about a few things. It was at the combine. We're going to meet outside. And we didn't talk a lot of football, asked a few, but I knew right away I liked him. That was the important thing, and then they took it from there.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about Jameis Winston. You can talk. When I meet with the kid, I see the football in him. And he's a football junkie. He gets in front of the film, and he loves breaking down defenses. And like we said, this is the first time he's seeing a 3-4 defense in live action. Same defense or similar defense that he's going to see week 1 against Tennessee. So at least you could take that away from this football game, and he won't go into that game having not seen a defense like this one.
as Parmalee carries the Florida Hospital Player of the Game during the 2-minute warning. Florida Hospital, exclusive hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it was the hit.
Player of the game, Quan Alexander, and if for nothing else, this hit. Do we have more angles of this hit? This is outstanding.
You're going to see that a lot from the 21-year-old rookie from LSU. We've reached the 2-minute warning here in Tampa Bay. Two minutes remain, and Cleveland with a 31-7 lead in the football. Thad Lewis following Josh McCown, who had a couple of touchdown passes in the game, as Parmalee carries for the Browns. Thursday night, the Bucs will be down in Miami to take on the Dolphins. Then the regular season opener here against Tennessee. The Browns open the regular season against the Jets after close losses in the preseason at home to Minnesota and Buffalo. The Browns have come in against Lovie Smith's team and played good football this evening. The roster from 90 players to 75 by Tuesday. And then after the 4th preseason game, Parmalee carries again. Down to 53 and then 10 on the practice squad. Of course, there are also injury decisions as well to deal with. Let's take a look at the Southern Chevy Dealers Drive of the Game. Take up to $10,000, wow, off a new 2015 Chevy Silverado during the Chevy Summer Bonus Tag Sales event, and it's going on right now.
Drive of the Game's 2 plays. Great throw to Vincent Jackson. Outstanding run by Doug Martin. Unfortunately, we didn't see a whole lot of that tonight. A lot of things that have to get right in the next week and a half for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they get ready for Tennessee in week 1. But at least they got 2 plays to build on right there.
Well, and I'm a glass half full kind of guy, so I'm going to say what that says to me is that the Buccaneers do have the capability against a good defense to have a quick strike scoring offense. As this one will come to a close, 31-7. Those were the only points of the game for the Bucs. Lovie Smith will get his team ready for the Dolphins with some roster decisions. Mike Pettin pleased that his Browns played well from the start. Still looks like a bit of a limp there from Jameis Winston.
That might be how he walks. He walks like an old man.
A little swagger
even
there.
Though he's 22 years old.
Is that a swagger you're saying?
That's just his swag, yes.
All right, let's hope so. And we will be back.
Kid will be healthy.
There's a touching moment. Josh McCown and Lovie Smith. We'll be back to wrap things up here in Tampa Bay in just a moment.